Hey guys, it's Celeste. I wanted to do just an informal video, just sitting at the dining room table, not the coffee table, the dining room table. And if you hear like night sounds, I just have some ambient sounds playing because my son is playing video games, and every now and then he yells or says bro, you know. So I thought that might kind of drown out some of it. So if you hear other talking, that's him, because he has the headphones on, he's talking to his people, whatever. Yeah, so I've just been chilling at the house today. I did some yard work this morning and it was like hot, and then it rained again, which is why the yard work was so difficult to begin with, because we've had, in the area of Texas that I'm in, we've had the wettest summer on record, like for a while, like years. And so the grass got super high, but you guys know, when it's raining, you can't mow the grass. Like, you gotta let it kind of dry, or else you'll get ruts in the yard, and it's just really way more difficult than it needs to be. So anyway, I'm not here to talk about my yard. I just want to kind of update on where I'm at. I finished the Unexpected Everything. I was listening to the audiobook as well as reading through it. So like, I would listen to it when I couldn't sit and follow along, and then I would sort of skim through the pages and kind of read along sometimes, especially the parts where they are using emojis. Because there's an emoji bet. One of the characters has to use emojis only in her text, and it's funny and also very creative, but it helps to be able to see if I can find a page where she's stuck using emojis, like you see right here, like there's sections where there's like emoji stuff, and so it describes it. But like, the funny thing is that not all people call emojis the same thing. Like, there was a thing I read once about, they showed people emojis and asked them what it meant, and in different areas or different age groups, they had a different understanding for the emoji. It was, anyway, I gave it 4 stars. It was just a typical YA contemporary romance, you know, and it's set in the summer. Like, it's a good summer read. It's nice and chonky, but I don't feel like it has a lot of extreme. Sometimes when you get like a romance that's really chonky, it just has fluff in it that it doesn't need. I feel like this was well edited and well constructed as far as like the entirety of the plot, the arc. What I appreciated is, and I've noticed this shift in myself as I've gotten older myself, the better inclusion of like parents. The main character has some stuff to get through involving her parents and her relationship with her father, and it doesn't just say, oh, the parents suck and they're always at work or something like that. Like, that's sort of a subplot that's there, and I appreciate that, because I'm more along the age group of the parent of the teenager. I have teenagers, so yeah, like I really liked that. And so this was the first Morgan Matson book I've ever read. I know, what? But yeah, this is the first Morgan Matson book I've ever read, and so I will probably grab, like, maybe save the date. I don't know. We'll see. And just when I need a palate, because I like a little palate cleanser, right? If I read something that's hard hitting, I might need something that's not hard hitting to kind of unwind a little bit, right? So anyway, there's that. And then the other book that I finished, put that to the side. The other book that I finished was Malibu Rising. Okay, Malibu Rising by Jenkins, Reid. And yes, you notice that mine is a Book of the Month copy. I am a member, like a member, I guess, of Book of the Month. This is not sponsored by them or anything like that. I pay for it, and I really like it because of the price points and the curated list, right, to go through. Because I realized, and what I found already was when I was looking at their backlist for previous years, I was reading Book of the Month books just on my own. Like, there's more often than not, there are books on there that I had read that I bought independently. So I thought, well, might as well, you know, be a part of this and get some books for cheaper, or you know, depending on whether it's your Book of the Month or your add-on or whatever. I mean, and if you need more information about that, I mean, I guess I could help you out with that, or you could go to someone who is like one of the people who do sponsored videos. Anyway, back to the book. So Malibu Rising is the latest from Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing has done some interesting things. In earlier books in the backlist are like these romantic, sort of hard-hitting books, and they're good. Like Taylor Jenkins Reid was known in that arena, in that contemporary romance, adult romance, whatever. And then The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo hit, and holy smokes. And I was late to that party. Like, I had read from Taylor Jenkins Reid, and then when I read that book, I was like, oh, she's moved to a different level. And then I listened to Daisy Jones and the Six because I heard through the grapevine being BookTube, that that was a book better consumed through audio because of the nature of it. And so that's how I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and it was good. I didn't like it as much as Evelyn Hugo, but I enjoyed both of them quite a bit. I think I gave both of them 4 stars. Okay, and so I gave Malibu Rising 4 stars. There is a chunk where you lose momentum a little bit, like the beginning of the book. Okay, and it also ties into Evelyn Hugo. So it's following the marriage and children of Mick Riva, who was part of, you know, like we saw him in Evelyn Hugo, he was one of the husbands. But this is set in it flashes back into the 50s, 60s, 70s, but it's also for the most part in 1983. And it's marked as historical fiction. Okay, for full clarity and context, I'm 40. Okay, I turned 40 in January. So in August of 1983, I was like 2.5 years old. So I'm a little bothered that a book is, you know, I get it, it is, but the vanity in me is like, oh, historical fiction, and I was alive then. I'm ancient, but you know, it's whatever. It's just, I just think that's kind of funny. I also love the aesthetic of the cover. Like it's real 80s. It's got real 80s vibes to me. But anyway, she does a really good job of crafting these characters and their relationship. You get attached to them. You're interested, even if you don't like them. Like Mick, for example. There's reasons not to like him, and yet you still kind of want to know what's going on, like what happens next. There's a lot of that, but it focuses mainly on 4 children, who are 4 adult children, and it takes place mostly on just one. Well, it pretty much takes place on just one night during this party. The flashbacks are helping to kind of give background narrative, like into their childhoods and into their parents' marriage and things like that. And that's all like really great. There's a bit of a slumpy spot where you're in the party, and instead of focusing on the set of Rivas, you get I feel like too much information about some of these party guests, and it's interesting stuff, right? Like they're supposed to sort of represent 80s movie stars, TV stars, what have you, but I didn't care. Like, okay, yeah, so it's a wild party. I get it. Like, you don't have to tell me their names or what state they came, you know, where they live, their home state, right? That they lived at before they came to Hollywood. Like, I don't know, Malibu, whatever, I don't care. But anyway, it was a really good read. And I was really, I felt really like the ending was a typical Taylor Jenkins Reid ending, and it just, I was there for it. If this was your first Taylor Jenkins Reid, you might be going like, what is going on here? Try Evelyn Hugo. It's up more people's alley than it isn't. So anyway, so I finished those 2 books. So now, as of 2021, I am at 69 books read. So 69 books. I made some progress in Firekeeper's Daughter, but it's long and it's kind of a slow burn. And I'm in between, like I hit a big plot point and now I'm working to the next. And so you got to get through some like small scenes and stuff, and it's, I'm working. It's good. It's good. I just got to like keep pushing myself to get to the next really interesting thing. I did barely start, like just barely start, Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I talked about this in my last video because I wanted to read this to cover one of the bingo squares. I'm part of a book club, book group, whatever, and we're doing a summer bingo that we created. And if you go in my last video, there's a link down below that has where you can make your own bingo. I didn't share the link to the bingo card we made because several of the squares have to do with specific book club things. Like, we've read books that cover certain topics, so there's squares that kind of cover that. And then there's a couple of squares that say, read a previously picked, book club book. And it's like, if you're not part of our club, then you don't know what to pick. And so anyway, you can make your own. Like, that's kind of what we did, is we looked at other bingo cards and was like, we like that. Let's put our own twist on it. And so we did. So anyway, Take a Hint, Dani Brown. I feel like a lot of people know about this because it's pretty popular. Like, the Brown sisters books are really popular. So they're companion books, but they do go in order. You read Get a Life, Chloe Brown. You get kind of introduced to this place, this family, and the quirkiness and sort of the style of Talia Hibbert. And then you move on to Take a Hint, Dani Brown. This is one of her sisters. You see her in that other book. And we'll actually see Chloe in this book. I've barely started it. So, of course, I haven't seen Chloe yet. But, and then the next book deals with another one of the sisters. And I do have that book. I don't have it handy to show you, but it's another one of the sisters. So, after finishing Malibu Rising, I wanted to kind of move. I decided to pick up this romance because Firekeeper's Daughter is like dark and kind of mystery thrillery. Like it's dealing with some heavy topics like drug abuse and suicide. And so I wanted something that was lighter and more, because I read multiple books at a time, and I guess I could film a whole video talking about it. I read multiple books at a time, but I like to make them very different. So like nonfiction, and then, fantasy, and then, like things that my brain can shift gears very easily. So anyway, I've been rambling. So I'm going to stop right there. But I just wanted to kind of give you guys an update on that and give you a few thoughts that I had on those 2 books that I read. I finished a diamond painting, so I'm about to start up another diamond painting. The diamond painting that I finished was, I'll go ahead and show you this one, and it's like a book that's open and it's got like magic coming out, and you can see it's sparkly because I finished it. You can see a little, there we go, you can see it there. So I literally just finished that a few minutes ago, and I'm getting the setup done for this one. I bought a set that are like space inspired. So this is a space inspired one. And what I like about it is that it's got like a pop of color in it. Kind of like the other one that I just showed you. There's a pop of color in the middle. And so I kind of like that. And so I'm about to do the setup for that. And what I mean by setup is I take the little drills, little diamonds, and I put them in sectioned cup things. So it's easier for me when I'm going. I don't want to deal with baggies and stuff like that. Okay. So I will update you guys again soon. I don't know when, because tomorrow I have plans with friends, and then Thursday I'm going to Houston. So I will let you guys know about that after I get back. So good times, good times. So anyway, if you like this video, please give me a like, thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.